Hello and welcome back to Learn JavaScript with Creative Coding. I am Dr. Abstract and we're in the data module. So we're going beyond JavaScript. We're going all the way to the server and back again. That's right, we can do that through a server script. And we've had a few lessons already. We had one on, well, what is data and information? And we saw how to store in local storage. Then we took a look at the front end of an HTML DOM form to find out how we can send information from there. This is the canvas right here, this one. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Woohoo! And so one nice thing about it is it doesn't matter for the back end. The PHP and the MySQL is the same for an HTML DOM form or for submitting from the canvas, like from here. So we were having a look at how to build this in HTML, and we also saw how to set up a table to collect this data from. All right, so you can go back and take a look at those lessons. So here we are in the HTML DOM form. We're going to submit, and this is recording how many people, well, what the counts are for people who chose this color. So we have only one person who's chosen that color. What do you know? And our count is pretty low. We could go back and increase that count. There we go. Oh, not quite. There we go. And submit. So now a count of 9 beats the count of 0. One nice thing, though, is take a look. Here it is on the command line. That's going to be really small for you. But if I put 99 in there and hit enter, sure enough, 99 comes in. So what I'd like to do now is take you into PHP. Yay, let's do it. So we'll reduce this down, pop on in. This is the HTML form where we were calling the PHP. And just to recall, we had a name, a count, and a color. That's the data that's coming to us. And those are all stored here in name parameters, as well as ID parameters. But make sure you have the name parameters, then we can collect them, as we'll see. Okay, so here is the PHP page. It's responsible for printing out that result page. So this is some of the HTML for that result. There's a starting PHP. Yay, we'll come back to that. Here's the PHP to put stuff in, to take stuff out. And then we end our PHP downstairs there, downstairs, and end our body, the end of the body. Oh, okay, so coming back up, we'll ignore the HTML. And we're in PHP. Let's just take a little, we'll zoom in here a bit and just talk about PHP. So it starts with an angle bracket, question mark, and a little PHP. Could be uppercase. As a matter of fact, that probably works too. By default. But there we are. Now in PHP, there's a few things that are different. If we want to print or output or log or whatever, we echo. Isn't that nice? Echo, hello world. There we go. So we're going to echo hello world. We'll save that up. It's going to echo the rest of the stuff. But if we hit exit, that's a way that it says, don't go any further. So we save that. We want to make sure that it's uploaded. So I upload through, if you see, here's my files here. I've got local files and remote files. And I'm hitting Control-1. And a little message down there said that that just unloaded or uploaded. So that's how I'm uploading right here in my editor. And that's very handy as opposed to going out to FileZilla or something. FileZilla! All right, so we're here, and what's it doing? Oh yeah, now I hit enter here, and it shows me nothing. Oh, that must mean there's a mistake. Yes, there is. So if nothing shows up, there's probably an error, and you could find that in a log if you know how to find your logs. Now, I don't know how to find my logs, so I just say, oh, it's an error. I come back in here, and I try and figure it out. I'm missing the semicolon, so let that be a lesson. There needs to be a semicolon in PHP. And we refresh here. And let's try it. Enter, and nothing again. So what now is happening? Hello, echo, hello world. Oh, we didn't upload it. Lesson 2. Upload your file. So save it, Control-1. There it is uploaded. He says confidently, and I refresh. Welcome to the world of PHP. So that's a little small. Why don't we adjust that? We have styles already. Oh yeah, look, that impact is on the span. So we'll copy that up and we'll put it right in the whole body there. We will upload the site, otherwise we won't see the change. So we need, I'm going Control-1, that's my hotkeyed upload. I refresh, yes, that's nice. Don't you want to code that way? You know, like, hey, tell me the answers, yeah. So great, we've said hello world. Now, what else can we do in PHP? Well, there's a variable, $, message, I guess, is equal to yeah, like that. And then we'll hit semicolon on the end of there. We've learned that, right? Zoom in on this a little bit more. Message, yeah. Now, it's not really our task today to show you or explain too much about PHP, but I thought I'd just give you a slight introduction in case you haven't seen this before, or a reminder if you have. So $message is yeah, and we can throw that right in here, $message. Neat, huh? So we can embed the PHP variables right in a string if we so desire. And we save that, and we upload with a Control-1, and we refresh here. Hello world, yeah, very cool. Okay, so far so good, but how do we collect the information from the top there? You see how we've got the top, we've got a count, we've got a name. How do we get that name? Well, we get that name with something like $name is equal to $_get. All those variables are automatically put in an array called $_get, or _get, I guess, and the $sign axis is that. And that's available through PHP. And we say, we ask for now, PHP has associative arrays, which are like objects, object literals in JavaScript, where we can put the property name right here. And indeed, the property name happens to be name, and a semicolon there. Oops, or an L, semicolon. That dratted L, I can't tell you how many times I've put an L at the end. I may as well make the L a semicolon, huh? So name is equal to whatever's being passed into us from the server. And then we could add that in here with something like comma, $name, like so. Shall we try it? We upload to the server, upload to the server, refresh, hello world, yeah, Darth Zen, bum bum bum. Okay, great. So that's us collecting. Now sometimes we get errors if there was no name sent to it. Not no name, but actually they didn't even send a variable called name. So usually we're supposed to say, is that a set? So if we can spell it, we can do it. Is this thing a set? That's the PHP command. The PHP command that will test to see if that's alive. That will return a Boolean true or false. It doesn't mean that it still could be nothing in it. There could be quote in it, but it tells us if they've passed in this variable. All right, but this won't do. That would just put either true or false into the variable name. So we're going to do one of those ternary operators here with a question mark. Well, if this does exist, then let's use it. So we take that and we put it right here. Else, we do what's after the colon. So if this part is true, we do what's after the question mark. Else, we do what's after here, and we'll just set that to nothing. All right. So that should be good, and that, well, I mean, we could test that. Do we? We don't need to test it. You believe me, that's how we can do it. So we've been doing that all the way through for many, many years. It works. All right, good. So that's how we can collect information. Let's carry on, shall we? We'll, I suppose, I guess we can wipe that stuff out. And next, how to connect to the database and to the table. Well, here's us connecting to the database. So we would put in, I'll uncomment these so we can see them a bit better. Localhost is probably good for you. I think most of the time that works, if not all the time. However, you'll want to put your username and password there and your database name. So remember that the database name, desktop reveal, here it is. The database name is not your table name. There's the table name. zimlerm learn form. The database name is danzen_com_all, or there. All right. So this is us connecting to the database first, or database data, 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 data. And here is how that continues. We make a new MySQLi object. So we used to do MySQL, but that has these like injection hacking problems. So they've solved that in MySQLi. Also in PDO, which is another technique that we can use to access a database. Here we are using MySQLi. We pass in that information that we stored up here. And we store that in a variable called $MySQLi. Now I've done that here in a different location so that you can't see my username and password, etc. So we'll just comment this out. All these files, by the way, will be available for you. Aside from this file, all these files will be available to you in a zip, and you can come take a peek at them at any time. All right, well, better reduce that down. These things are starting to get longer, aren't they? So here we are collecting our data that comes from the form. Keep those names the same as what are in the form fields. Keep these names, well, those need to be the same. Keep these names the same as what's in the form fields, and you'll be happier. Okay. Looks good? Good. Now we pop on down here. This thing right here is a string. And how long does it go? Can we see it all at once or not? I suppose so. So that's a string that is storing an SQL statement. So SQL, structured query language, is a way that we can ask for data from a database. There's also modern ones, GraphQL, which you might want to look into. It's pretty cool looking, which is more, looks like using object. Sorry, one second. Which looks like using object literals in JavaScript. I hope that wasn't too loud for you. I did turn my back. All right, so jQuery, not jQuery, query. We're storing this in a query. A query means a question. And then we're going to carry on, and this is us trying to input information. As it says here, insert into our table. Now this is our table this time up above. That was our database. So this is our table right here, our table name. The ID, the name, the count, and the color. The ID is null, so we won't have to insert. As a matter of fact, we probably don't even need that, just like that. Name, count, color. The ID will take care of itself, so we wouldn't need to pass in null. But you could do it that way, and perhaps we want to see them. So just undo. These are the names of the fields in our table. And then here are the values we want to put in. And this is how MySQLi works. If the value comes from the client, then it could be anything. It could be problems. They could sort of stop a string and start up another command and then start the string. And it would end up being inserted. Well, this was MySQLi's way around that, by putting in these question marks. So anything that comes from the server, or sorry, from the client, you need to put question marks for. See, we're needing to fill in the name, the count, and the color. The ID is auto-incrementing, so we don't have to put anything in for that. All right, so the idea is those question marks go in there, and later we bind these values, which is, which we're collecting from the client, from the HTML form, or could be from a Canvas form, or not even from a form, but from somewhere. These are the values that are coming from the front end. So we bind them into these question marks like that. So, okay, we skipped a few steps. Let's take a look. We're making a statement, whatever object, I suppose, that's being created from our MySQLi object. This is like the dot syntax here. So that's like the MySQLi object dot statement init. And I suppose what that does is it starts a statement and returns the statement that it started. And we store it here so that we can do things on that statement. Now, you don't have to do this stuff if you're not binding with the question marks, but this is the system for the binding. It's a little bit more complicated than the original system, which was already complicated enough, but so be it. You can see, like, it's just 5 lines here, so it's not too bad. All right, let's carry on then. So we get this statement that we're going to work with, and we prepare the statement by passing in the query. So at the moment, this query is just a string. It doesn't do anything up there. It's when we pass that string in to our preparation of the statement that it's actually going to do something. So that will prepare it. Then we bind the parameters like so. We put little information as to what type of things are: a string, an int, and a string. A string, an int, and a string. There's also a blob or a b for some image kind of stuff. All right, and then we say the names of our inputs. So these things come from up here. This is possibly our tainted. You like that word, tainted data? Like it could have been adjusted by some evil user who, put bad things in there. Okay, so that goes in, and what MySQLi will do is it will stop any bad things from happening. Who knows how it does that? Great, and then we execute the statement, and we can close it. We definitely want to close it if we're going to run another query later. So we have to be careful there. So we're executing it and we're closing it. That's it. That puts the information that we've collected into the database. Shall we see if it works? If all that's good, then we're going to echo a nice, hey, thanks, sport. But if we couldn't connect to the query, or if they couldn't connect, like this didn't, and we had the wrong database name, then it would give us, would echo out this error right here. Alrighty, let's try her out. So we save this, we upload it. Did we get rid of our stuff up above? We did. We come back here. Let's take a look at our database. Here it is. It won't necessarily be put at the end. You can see that these are the IDs. They're kind of like all over the place. It just decides where and when to put them in there. All right, let's try her out. We refresh here, or hit enter. And there's an error. Did we upload? Save and upload. What did we do wrong? Start the PHP. We are collecting the names. And it was all working before. Should be good. We brought the font family up here, which may not want, but that has nothing to do with it. Let's just make sure that our connection froze on our connection. So unfortunately, I'm going to restart the connection. There is the restart, and there's the upload. Okay, so I have to watch that. Sometimes it snags. So we refresh here, and there we are, Darth Zen. I'm not sure which one we entered. It was one of these Darth Zen things here. And let's go back and take a look. We have no Darth Zens until we browse. So that's how you refresh. Scroll in there, and I guess I hadn't refreshed. So we've been goofing around, and we had a bunch of Darth Zens coming in there. And great. Okay. Super. Let's change the name. We'll change the name to Darth Zoo. Why not? Darth Zoo, look, there it is. Darth Zoo got 99 too. Mr. Darth Zoo, and we browse here. And do you see a Darth Zoo anywhere? There it is, Darth Zoo. Maybe it does stick it down. No, I think it adjusts. Don't rely on that. If we delete some things, they pop into the middles. Okay, there's Darth Zoo, 99. Woot woo, woot woo on the Darth Zoo. And this has been a Learn Creative Coding with JavaScript, and also in the sense now with our database and PHP and MySQL. We've taken a look at the first part of this form. That's really the first part of the form. The first part, we're going to come back and take a look at how we can select things from the database when we return. If we return, hopefully you'll return. Come on back. Woohoo! Ciao.